Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of Varsity Aces Live. Tonight, it is the biggest Varsity Aces Live show we have done for you in this whole year. That's because we are honored to have on one of the greatest talents North Jersey has ever produced. Some might even call him a legend. We'll get to that in just a minute. My name is Darren Cooper. There he is, our legend. You'll be getting talked to. We'll be having on later tonight. His name is Tim Thomas. Thomas was a superstar in North Jersey from Paterson Catholic, Villanova for a year, a long time in the league, a superstar. They still talk about him 25 years later. Tim Thomas will be joined by Greg Mattura, talk about his career, what he's up to now, and in a little while we will be debuting our first North Jersey Legends documentary series that we think you're really going to enjoy. So, without further ado, let me bring on our very talented guest tonight, Mr. Tim Thomas, and the guy who was there covering him every step of the way, my friend and colleague, Mr. Greg Mattura. So Greg Mattura and Tim Thomas, great to have you both on the show with us tonight. It really is the biggest show we've ever had. I think Tim's probably the tallest guest we've probably ever had. And so, Greg, I know you're excited to chat with Tim. You almost feel like you watched him grow from a very young age, huh, Greg?
I really did it. I feel like I'm like 20-something years old again here.
Yeah.
Are you getting that teenage vibe right now?
Definitely. I should be calling you Uncle Greg. Been around for so long, right?
Let him have it, Tim. Let him have it. Tease him to your heart's content, please.
No, Greg's always been a good guy. I mean, he's just been around for so long. Like I say, he should be called Uncle Greg, He's been around for all the ups and downs throughout my high school career, and it's a great opportunity. I love what you guys are doing, now. And I think this is going to be special.
So it was a pleasure for me to cover you. You were the first kid who I covered. I came to the record in '89. Your freshman year at Paterson Catholic was '92. Mm-hmm. And you were the first player who I looked at and said, oh, my God, this kid's only a freshman in high school. And I think he's going to be in the NBA someday. And I thought that I was a little bit delusional thinking that with someone being so young, but it's just your court awareness, especially, and your all around game. I was telling Darren and Tim before the show started, I went down to the basement, went down to the dungeon, digging around in the archives, got on a ladder in my basement, and last bucket up top on the left, I pulled out the Tim Thomas archives. I can't believe I had some of this stuff. Tim, I realized you were so good when you were a freshman. Here is the game by game scoring list.
Wow.
That I had for you. This is the oldest piece of archive material that I've ever had to pull out of my sports dungeon. I would have started this around January of your freshman year, which would have been January '93.
Wow.
2000.
Still looks good. In great shape.
What do you remember most about your freshman year?
My freshman year was great. I mean, I came to school 3 days late because I was actually at basketball camp, right? So that was the kicker. All the teachers was kind of upset, like, who is this, new kid coming in these 3 days late and all that kind of stuff. But overall, my freshman year was a learning experience for me. I was coming in as the best, freshman in the country. All the elite schools wanted to, get a piece of us at that particular time, and we was really trying to establish ourselves. The dominant schools in town was, Eastside High, obviously, and JFK with Kennedy, obviously. So, the whole situation was just new for a lot of us because we was really considered, punk city because none of the real athletes wanted to go to Paterson Catholic at that time. But, just being a 6'8" skinny kid that can play the game, but didn't really have an understanding of the high school game with, guys being physical and, the concepts and things of that nature. It was a little different for me. But I do remember right after my freshman year, getting pushed around, getting bullied, by some of the seniors and and things of that nature, I went right to the weight room, and I got my body, in control, and obviously my sophomore year, that really showed because what we was able to accomplish my sophomore year.
All right, thank you for making that easy assist for me.
Yeah.
Good pass. Here is the story prior to the start of your sophomore year. Awesome. Your first of 3 years as a parade All-American, 6'8" or 6'9" sophomore. What was interesting about this was we rarely, if ever, back in the 90s, especially in the early to mid 90s, had high school stories on the front page of sports. So you helped us break through there. 6 people copy edited my story. That's how little regard they had for me in high school sports back then. But we'll leave that at that. And you talk about getting pushed around by the older kids. I found my notes from your revenge game sophomore year against Eastside County semifinals.
Oh, yeah.
You had lost 86-76, my crummy handwriting. You went for 19 points in the fourth quarter, 7 for 7 from the field, 5 for 5 from the foul line. They got within 2, and then you beat them by 10. That's the most focused and most determined that I saw you in the 4 years. Talk about rivalries. Talk about growing up in Paterson and learning from these older kids. You talked about that many, many times, and the significance that had to your growth.
Well, I grew up right around the corner from James Scott. It was like my role model. And, he went to Eastside High, went on to play at St. John's and play with the Miami Heat for a little bit. So my freshman year, my best friend, Tom, shout out to him. My freshman year when we played Eastside, the night before, he was just telling me, like, look, I know I'm not going to be able to stop you. I'm just going to try to bully you, get you out of your comfort zone. And hopefully, the guards can take over and win the game, for them. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, we had a team full of guards. Losing that game, it was big because, everyone knew that I was the best freshman in the country. Obviously, Eastside and Kennedy was the dominant schools. And that was our first real test as far as playing one of the local schools. Losing that game, obviously, you always want to be able to get back, and to have opportunity to play him again, it was everything, and it was no way possible that we was going to lose.
Tim is referencing the county quarterfinal his freshman year. Paterson Catholic up 14 points in the first half, also up 14 points in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
The Eastside roughed up Paterson Catholic. I think we only had 2 officials on the crews back then,
right?
And they just roughed you guys up, and they wound up beating you, and then they went on to win the county final. But sophomore year was a terrific year. You won the county title.
Mm-hmm.
You also had a terrific run where you won 21 games in a row. You made it into the USA Today Super 25. You made it all the way to the Tournament of Champions final after a big win over St. Patrick at home in the non-public B. What do you remember most about sophomore year, that special sophomore year?
Oh, it started in the summer with AAU, playing with Kobe and Vince and those guys and winning national championships, and then carrying that all the way over into high school. And it was a special moment. Like I said, I was just mentally and physically ready for what was ahead because I got a chance to get into the weight room, get my body together. And skill set wise, I was just, flat out ready. But I do remember that game against Shaheen. I talk to Shaheen all the time. He's one of my best friends. The buzzer beater against them, that was memorable, in so many different ways because obviously we wanted to get over that hump and, have an opportunity to play for the state championship. And, winning the championship was everything, but obviously you had your sights set on the TLC and, playing orange, I felt as though we was the better team. Just got in foul trouble and our coach never, put me back in the game. So that kind of hurt our momentum a little bit, but it was a great run. It was a great run, my sophomore year. And, that the guys was really in tune, and we knew exactly what we wanted to accomplish, because we felt as though we had the right group of guys, and we all meshed together to get it done.
All right. Well, thank you for that pass again. I have the box score and the play-by-play for the Tournament of Champions final game against Orange. I also want to mention that Orange knocked you out of the game midway through the fourth quarter. They fouled you incredibly hard.
Right.
They knocked you out of the game. You couldn't shoot the free throws, but when you left the game, you guys were up 2. When you came back in, you were down 2 going into the final minute. And there's a big difference between playing with a lead and having to chase the other team. So I felt like I took a loss that game. I really wanted a TOC title for one of my teams.
Yeah, we all
a great sophomore year, got into USA Today. So thanks for letting me use this memory as well.
Wow.
All right, Mr. Mattura, if I can interject for a second, the time has come to reveal our very first NorthJersey.com Legends series, our first video documentary. He is, of course, our guest tonight. I told you he's legendary. It's 25 years ago, and they still talk about Tim Thomas. And now let's take a look at the North Jersey legend, Tim Thomas. In the 1990s, the center of the New Jersey basketball world was Paterson Catholic. And the center for Paterson Catholic was Tim Thomas, a hard-driving, sweet-shooting big man from Paterson with the size of a center and the skills of a guard. Thomas made an immediate impact on the basketball scene. Dominating with his size and strength sophomore year, Thomas and the Cougars became the first Passaic County team to win a state title in 48 years and reached the Tournament of Champions final. Dick Vitale ranked Thomas the #1 player in the nation as a junior, and the Cougars played and won games all over the nation. Paterson Catholic won Passaic County titles in 1994 and 1996, and Thomas was named an All-American 3 times in high school, and in his career, his team went 91-16.
The first time I saw Tim Thomas, winter 91-92. He wasn't even in high school yet. He was in a pair of overalls. Paterson Catholic had a new coach, Jimmy Salmon, and he wanted to elevate the program, so he brought them into New York City to play my alma mater, LaSalle Academy. Before the game, I was talking to my former coach, Bill Aver, who said to me, they have a kid in 8th grade who's 6'6". I found that interesting that a New York City high school varsity coach would already know about a New Jersey kid who was only in 8th grade. But Tim's talents were that immense. The following year, as a freshman at Paterson Catholic, I just could not believe that a kid that young had such an incredible skill set and even more impressive court awareness. I remember thinking, is it delusional for me to imagine that I can already see this kid being in the NBA someday?
Thomas finished his high school career with 2,232 points. He spent 1 year at Villanova before entering the 1997 NBA draft. He was drafted 7th overall by the New Jersey Nets and played 13 seasons in the league. Paterson Catholic has closed, but the stories and legacy of Tim Thomas will live forever. He's a North Jersey legend. All right, there you have it. Our very first of our series of North Jersey legends, the one and only Tim Thomas. And Tim, the first question that comes: can you still dunk? Can you still get up and down the court like you did in that video?
Yeah, I can still dunk. I was actually with my team in the gym 2 days ago, and the kids, they always want to see you dunk and stuff of that nature. So yeah, I can still get up there. Dr. J and those guys are still dunking. Why not? Right?
Hey, sure. when you see some of those old clips, what comes to your mind? Do you think about your family? Do you think about the schools? Do you think about your journey? I mean, what
you think about it all? You think about it all. I mean, as a player, when you're going through, your career, you don't really have time to sit back and, soak it all in, so to say. And, now that I'm I've been retired close to 10 years now. I mean, you get a chance to really, soak it all in, especially watching the high school clips. It's like, wow, you had hair and, you're a lot younger and, just seeing so many, familiar faces and, just remembering the atmosphere at the games, whether you won or you lost. So, I mean, it's just so many great memories that when you're in the moment, you don't really get a chance to soak it all in. But after the fact, you really get a chance to see those experiences and appreciate it more.
Do you have any Paterson Catholic mementos yourself? You have a jersey because the school's gone. It's sad. I mean, the school's gone. Do you have anything you held on to from the school?
I actually have everything, guys.
Do you really?
I have at least one of each one of my jerseys. I have trophies, a bunch of pictures. Actually, you guys can go on the Instagram page. I Am Tim Thomas, the documentary, putting the documentary together. So I have clips. I have a little bit of everything. So it's amazing. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to put the documentary together because, a lot of the young kids now, they might have heard different stories or whatever, but to actually get a chance to see clips like that. And when you tell people, you was a grown man in high school and they get a chance to look at some of these clips, 6'10", 235, your senior year, in high school playing against, 6'1", 185 kids. I mean, it just looks unreal, right? It looked like someone's father is out there. It's a good thing, I'm gonna put it together and hopefully everybody enjoy it.
Now, Tim, I logged a lot of miles covering you. The longest trip I took, I must have held on to this one, Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania for the McDonald's Classic, where they booed the hell out of you.
Yeah.
You played the home team in the final. You got to play at Madison Square Garden during the blizzard of '96. Go look it up. It's on Wikipedia. When the game started on that Sunday afternoon, light snow. By the time we came out of Madison Square Garden, I think we had more than 2 feet by the time that night was over. I got stuck in the snow. I had to dig myself out in New York City. Down to Atlantic City for your 2000th point.
Oh, yeah. You got some good material there.
I guess because I just moved into a house, right? So I had more room.
He's auditioning for a spot in the documentary, Tim. Can't you tell?
Talk about being able to travel to all these different places, Maryland, Pennsylvania, play at the Garden. What did that mean to you as a high school kid?
It meant everything because it was the first real opportunity for a lot of us to travel. I remember my freshman year going to Maryland, and going to Delaware. And then my sophomore year, going to Florida for the first time, it meant everything. Outside of AAU, I mean, I was already traveling because of AAU, but, on the high school level, a lot of the guys from the inner city, that was our first time really, leaving the city as a unit. So, it was important to be on the road and, play against some of the best competition that was out there and also showcase, your talent. A lot of the guys who actually played with me, got a chance to go to college because they played with me and had opportunities to showcase their talent in other cities. So, it was very, very beneficial and we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it all. It's nothing like going on the road and, being considered, the best player in the country and everybody's after you, I want to beat you, So, it was a lot of times, as athletes, you play, hurt, you might be banged up and you still want to get out there and showcase, your talent to the people that never really seen you play before. So, and that's what it's about. I mean, those experiences was everything for us.
All right, my last prop. Here's the press release for the McDonald's All-America game.
Wow.
Four kids from the it's faded. Four kids from the New York metropolitan area, including you and Shaheen Holloway, Shout out to Shaheen, also an incredible player. An honor to cover him. Talk about the significance, please, of being in that McDonald's All-America game and having 4 kids from the metropolitan area representing there. I believe it was out in Pittsburgh.
Yes, it was at Pittsburgh. It was a great experience. It was a great experience. I mean, we always grow up watching, the NBA games and the college games on TV. And then, every year, you get that McDonald's All-American game where you see some of the next greats. And to be a part of that was everything. To be named a 3-time McDonald's, All-American, which is unheard of. I tell kids that all the time, like I was a 3-time McDonald All-American. But that whole experience was great. And the thing that I cherished the most was Skyra Sasso with Kobe. Me, Kobe, and Jermaine O'Neal was 3 guys that had the opportunity to come right out of high school. And those weekends at the McDonald's All-American game and also at the Magic Round Ball game in Detroit, we had a chance to really sit down and kind of, game plan our future, so to say. And Kobe was just high-strung on definitely going to the league. And me and Jermaine, was kind of trying to figure out, our situations. And, in Detroit, we got a chance to be around some of the pro guys, Magic, Kareem, Isaiah Thomas, Grant Hill, and a few others. And, just the insight that they gave us, it really helped, Kobe make his decision and also Jermaine make, his decision. And for me, I always wanted to be a top 10 draft pick. And when I realized that I was either top 20 in the 96 draft, that's what drove me to go to college. I think I was 13th on the list that year. I would have been drafted by Charlotte because, at that time I had the body frame of an actual NBA player with the skill set. Even though me and Kobe was 1 and 2 in, different people's eyes, I was a 6'10", 6'9", 6'10" guy that can do some of the similar things that he was doing. And I was pretty much NBA ready physically, so, but I always wanted to be top 10 and that's what drove me to go to college.
Tim, I want you to know that I just got a message on my phone from one of your Paterson Catholic teachers. Coach A says hello. Helen Angelini says hello. I want to bring up your coach at Paterson Catholic, Coach Salmon. How often you must talk still pretty regular, right?
No, we don't. We don't have a relationship whatsoever. We don't. I mean, it's sad, but we don't. I mean, a couple of things happened between the few years, but we actually don't. He's doing great things with the IC. Yeah. And I moved on, and I'm doing my thing with Pioneer Academy.
And Greg, we should talk a little bit about exactly what Mr. Thomas is up to these days. He's now he's undertaken something really big. Y'all got a really big vision for this Pioneer Academy. Yes.
I mean, it's a blue ribbon school, strong academically, and we want to change the culture of New Jersey state basketball. A lot of times you see majority of the schools playing against each other for 4 years, and you'll have 5 or 6 schools that are really the dominant schools in the state. And basically what we want to do is just change the narrative with that and put kids in a tougher situation so they're ready for college. Because honestly, AAU controls the narrative with kids getting the look, but we want to make sure that the kids are ready academically and with the game, basketball one-on-one all the way through, with the skill set development aspect of it to sustain college.
It's a K-12 institution, and we had hoped to have a high school team right this year, but it just didn't work out, right, Tim? We just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, with COVID, we just decided, we was one of the schools early that decided that we're not going to take any chances on putting kids at risk. So we just canceled our season early on. And right now, we just got back in the gym the last week, trying to get the kids prepared for the AAU season. And our future is looking bright. We're going to be we're a completely independent school. We want to play about 50 games a year. We want to travel. We want to put the kids in the toughest situations. We're also going to start a prep situation, which is going to be a little different than the norm.
Okay.
Most of the time in prep situations, the kids, they finish their high school and then they just try to play another year. But we're going to actually make sure that the kids enroll and get some courses in, some college courses in.
Right.
And also still play, that fifth year to try to get a better opportunity college-wise. So, we're looking forward to it, myself and James Hargrove, another legend.
What's it like coaching, Tim? I'm curious to know what's it like coaching.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time I have a PhD in basketball. Okay. Just playing at every level and playing in the elite of the elite, which is the NBA. It's honestly fun. To be able to see a kid grow and develop, and take a kid's strengths and make them stronger, and have a kid understand their weaknesses and work on their weaknesses. And for me, the number one goal is to make sure that our kids are ready to play their freshman year in college. Because a lot of times you see kids, they'll go off to college based off of their own skill set and development through AAU, but AAU doesn't teach you the game the right way. It's just about getting out there, showcasing your talent in front of the coaches, but kids just stick to their strengths during those circuit times. And, we want to make sure that the kids is developed all the way around. So when a kid leaves our program, no matter if it's D1, lower D1, D2, D3, that coach will have a full understanding that kid is ready mentally and physically, for the game. And that's what it's about, just making sure the culture and the kids, get the right, teaching.
Yeah. We got one more clip of Tim that we didn't put in the Legends video, but we want you to see. Okay. The guys got queued up. It's a fun. Go for it, Mike. Go for it, Mike.
Do you think you'll win or you think you're going to lose?
He's going to win. It's going to be dynamite.
Can we expect some dunks?
Expect it all, honey.
Do you think you'll win or you think you're going to lose?
He's going to win. It's going to be dynamite.
Can we expect some dunks?
Expect it all, honey. It's going to be a good game.
So who's that lady, Mr. Thomas? Who's she? You seem like a big fan.
That's the earth. That's the creator. That's my mother right there. She's 80 years old.
How's she doing?
She's doing great. She's in North Carolina. And she's enjoying life. I mean, obviously, the grandkids, want to get down to see her because of COVID, but we all stay in communication. But she's doing great. She's doing great. And that was actually my cousin interviewing her.
Yeah.
So we was a little ahead of the curve when it comes down to making sure we had the footage. Obviously, you can see. So that was homemade stuff there.
That was a cool idea. Yeah. All right, Greg. What else? What else you want to? What other Tim Thomas story you want to?
I have one last bullet in the gun there, and that is you're talking about preparing, working at a school where you're preparing kids to go on to the next level. Obviously, when you were a senior, you were one of the most heavily recruited players in the country, and probably one of the most heavily recruited athletes to ever come out of Northern New Jersey. May 5th, 1996. It was a Sunday. It was my wedding anniversary. I was supposed to take my wife out to dinner, but I spent the evening at your house.
I remember.
Right? That's when you announced that you were going to Villanova. It was a very emotional evening for you.
Right.
Talk about the experience of picking a school. It's so great to be loved by so many different schools and so many different people. What advice, if any, would you have for this year's group of kids and for the kids who, in any sport, moving forward when it comes time to select a college?
Yeah, that was a great Sunday afternoon. for me, I mean,
not for Mrs. Mattura. I don't think it was so great for Mrs. Mattura.
I'm still married, by the way. My wife has not cut me from the team.
Oh, it's a good thing. Well, I mean, for me, having an opportunity to pick any college in America was great, honestly. I mean, but it came down to obviously wanting to stay somewhat close to home and being in a situation where I can kind of learn from guys that was considered to be pros. Alvin Williams and Jason Lawson was definitely on the NBA board. I mean, obviously, we had plans on putting all of the top Jersey guys at that particular time, Shaheen Holloway, Malik Allen, just to name a few, John Celestin. We all wanted to go to school together, but Shaheen picked Seton Hall first. And I really did want to play with Shaheen, but it just came down to picking a situation where I can go and play the position that I wanted to start off in the NBA, which was the 3 spot. You know, back then, if you was, 6'10", 6'11", or above, you was going to either play the 4 or the 5. And me having the skill set that I had, I wanted to go in as a 3. And Coach Lapis allowed me to definitely come in and play the 3. And I got a chance to learn from some great guys and Jason and Alvin. They showed me what it was like to practice hard. I mean, I didn't have that structure in high school. They showed me what it was like, stretching, the weight training, all of those kind of things. So, I mean, it really, really groomed me, for my future in the NBA. And, just that family atmosphere down at Nova till this day. I talk to Jay Wright like every 2 weeks. We always communicating, been to the Final Four. My son was born in 2018, and he was in the world 3 weeks, and we went to San Antonio. My wife is a true warrior, even though she went to Georgetown, and she didn't like the fact that we was winning the last 2 years. And but we went down anyway, and it's just been great to be a Wildcat, and that experience was great because, like you said, it was a Sunday afternoon, and the whole world was waiting to see what Tim was going to do. Picking over, I would definitely do it all over again.
Hey, it all comes full circle, Greg, because my wife went to Georgetown, Tim. My wife.
Wow.
She rode crew at Georgetown.
Yeah.
So, listen, Mr. Thomas, we don't want to take up much more of your time. We are so thrilled you were able to give us some of your time. Can't wait to see and talk to you some more about what you guys are doing at Pioneer Academy. Greg and I are really interested in all that. Mr. Mattura, how does Tim Thomas look to you? Look pretty good? You think he still makes his free throws?
He looks pretty young. Everybody I cover stays young. That's how I stay young.
I got a few grades floating around.
His birthday's coming up, though. Early happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
That's right. Happy birthday to Tim.
On the 26th, I'll be 44 this year. So,
you look
a year. How about that?
You're still in your 30s, aren't you? So am I.
Yeah, well, we want to be in our 30s, but
Well, Tim, it's been
always wins.
It has been a thrill and a joy to have you on and spend some time with us. You made Mr. Mattura go deep into the archives, which he loves to do. Trust me, he loves to do. And so you brought him a lot of joy. Our very first North Jersey legend, and that piece that we premiered earlier tonight will be seen all over NorthJersey.com today, tomorrow, and forevermore as we educate people about the one and only Tim Thomas, a true North Jersey legend. Tim, thanks so much for your time tonight. Greg, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
That'll wrap things up here on the biggest Varsity Aces live show we have ever done. I had like a little fangirl stuff today. I was so excited to meet Tim Thomas. So glad that he and Greg got to talk about some old times. So excited to kick off our North Jersey Legend series with him. But that'll wrap things up here. I'm Darren Cooper. Remember, let the players play, the coaches coach, and the officials officiate. And let the Varsity Aces tell you what you need to know. Good night, everybody.